quick and who avoids situations of pain and loss, disappointment was not a feeling I was super familiar with. Not like this. I didn't know what to do with disappointment. Disappointment felt more personal and intimate than anger. In retrospect, I understood why it hit so hard when my parents would tell me, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. Well, now the tables were turned. But what was I to do with this massive disappointment that had to exist alongside massive love and care? I was disappointed, but I still loved them. I knew that they were and always would be my people, even while I also knew that things couldn't and wouldn't ever be the same. I needed to learn how to live through a season of holding love and care and profound disappointment all at once, and I had no idea how to do that. I had more questions than answers, but over time, and with lots of help from my therapist, I knew a few things. I still wanted relationships with my parents, and I also needed space. Needed to establish new boundaries, needed time to ask myself what the next season of my relationship with them could look like. So that's what I did. I set boundaries, I took space, and I dove more deeply into my trauma than I would have liked. This process gave me the space to think through some big questions that I would definitely face again. What do I do when the people I love disappoint me? What kinds of wrongs call for cutting someone off versus setting new boundaries? What kind of apology is acceptable and how do I forgive? How quickly can I expect people to change and grow? What do I have to let go of to be in relationships with people who hurt me? Do I truly want to let those things go? The beauty of this situation with my family was that it was private. We were in the middle of a pandemic, people weren't out and about, and my parents weren't regularly on social media. So we had privacy. I was processing this experience with my wife, my siblings, and my closest friends, and I didn't know what a gift that was until another disappointing experience not long after. I met Rachel Hollis around 2014. We became friends long before either of us had any public professional success. Rachel and I had navigated all of the normal conversations that friends navigate. We met at the church where I was a pastor and where she and her family attended. This church was not accepting of queer people, and when I met Rachel, my wife and I, we weren't married yet, were both pretty deep in the closet, and we knew that if we came out, we would lose whatever community we had built there. Of course, we eventually concluded that love and truth were worth the cost of whatever losses we would suffer. We came out knowing that we would lose friends, our church home, our community, and our jobs. All of that was true, but along the way, some people surprised us. Rachel was one of those people. As soon as she found out about Sammy, that's my wife, and me, she was on our side. When she found out that the church had rejected us, she and her family left that church, which was a socially and spiritually costly decision for them, so we had some solidarity. And it felt good for us to have friends on our side. Around a year after coming out and leaving the church, when we decided to get married, Rachel was at our wedding. We were with her through her time as a foster parent, and we've enjoyed many a happy hour together, gone on vacations, celebrated victories, put on events, and spent hours on phone calls and over drinks when her marriage was in trouble. We took a road trip to attend the funeral of our mutual best friend's mom. We have been the kind of friends who do what friends do. We have lived life together. And in 2019, that life got a little more complicated. Rachel wrote a book that skyrocketed her career and fame, and a lot of things changed. Her life, including our friendship, became public. Small events in a hotel conference room turned into stadium tours, and road trips to Santa Barbara turned into private planes to New York to meet Oprah. Then, in March 2021, Rachel shared a video on social media about not wanting to be relatable. Everything about the video was a big miss, and it was clear that she was not self-aware about the meaning of her social location as a privileged, now wealthy white woman in her 30s. The video generated an enormous controversy. I saw the video before the masses had found it, and I called her and was like, hey, what's up with this video? It looks like you're comparing yourself to Harriet Tubman, and that's insane. We chatted for only a moment because she was at Six Flags with her boys, so I told her to call me later. Well, by the time she left the park, shit had already hit the fan. But apart from the public nature of the scandal, for me, the reality was that I was once again facing deep disappointment in someone I loved deeply. If my recent experience with my parents had taught me anything, it was that just because there was a deep love and relationship, that didn't mean the disappointment wasn't real. So how to hold that tension? What was the magical equation I could use?